Hi, my name is Isaac, and I'm going to be introducing you to a few people that are going to be helping you over this semester. And there's a lot more people behind us. But for this first meeting, we've got a few people, and they're going to introduce themselves. And these are your mentors, I guess. So do you want to start, Kirsten?
Yeah, sure. I'm Kirsten Buckholtz. I'm doing third year engineering and business management at UQ.
Awesome. Tian?
I'm Tiandra Henderson. I'm doing second year law and business at QUT. You can see my background. And yeah.
Natalia?
Hi, I'm Natalia. I'm doing a dual degree in nursing and midwifery, and I'm second year.
And Zoe?
And I'm Zoe Garson. I'm in a third year of Bachelor of Science at UQ.
Awesome. And yeah, my name is Isaac Newbold, and I'm studying commerce and economics at UQ as well. So today we're going to be talking about how to choose your degree. So like, obviously we all do different degrees and we all have our own reasons why we're in the degree we are. And some of us have even changed degrees since going to university. And we just wanted to discuss how you can go about choosing your degree and finding if it's right for you. The first thing I guess that we considered when choosing our degree is like finding your why, like why are you going to university? Why do you want to move away to go to university? And kind of why do you want to study what you want to study? Because obviously you've already had to kind of think about it, and QTAC preferences are coming up. So kind of why are those the preferences you're thinking about putting? And yeah, we're going to talk about how we found our whys and stuff like that. Do anyone want to start?
I guess for me, starting, I knew I was so ready to kind of leave Bundaberg and for a bit of a change. I had like all of my teachers and my family friends like, yes, I can see you're so ready to get out of here. And I knew that I've always kind of wanted to go to university. I really enjoyed studying and things like that. And I don't think I was ready to go into full-time work. And I wanted to kind of study to hopefully get a good job or like a nice job that I'm interested in.
A profession, I guess.
A profession, that's a better word for it.
Career, lifelong career.
I was the same, and I feel like a lot of people probably are like that. Watching the video.
I think university is a good way to go for some people if you feel like you want to be challenged in a certain way. If you enjoy studying and feel like you enjoyed studying in a high school setting, then I think uni is a good way to go because it will challenge you even further if you feel comfortable with that. That's why I kind of wanted to.
I think it's important also, say you didn't enjoy studying every subject at school, but say you really enjoyed studying one subject. That's a good enough reason to go to university, because at university you are studying that one subject in depth. So if you enjoyed one subject at school and you hated every other subject, well, good thing university's around because you can study one thing.
I can relate to that.
Really like touching on other things in your like university experience, and you definitely will like touch on subjects you won't like as much in that broad discipline. But nevertheless, like if you did enjoy that one thing, be assured like even by your second year, you're going to be studying just that subject. So yeah, I think even liking one subject is enough of a reason to kind of go to uni. What was kind of like, why did you guys pick your degrees?
Yeah, I'll start. I chose my degree because of my intrinsic motivation to help people, and I knew doing law I could do that. And I'm very passionate about like helping with domestic violence and children, like their best interest. And yeah, so I want to be a family lawyer.
Awesome. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you don't.
I was just saying, I always knew that I wanted to do healthcare, like from when I was so young, and I just didn't know what area I wanted to go in. So I initially did physio because I thought that, as physiotherapy, sorry, because I was super interested in sport and exercise and how that all worked in together with the human body. But I've ended up changing because it just didn't feel right for what I wanted to be doing, and I didn't feel like it was hands-on enough in terms of like clinical care. But at the same time, I might end up doing something else in the future as well. But for now, that's like, I'm happy with what I'm doing. It's a good start for me.
Definitely. Yeah, so for me, I felt like I was already reading books about what I wanted to do, and like I felt like I was already like wanting an understanding of what I'm studying right now. So like I always wondered like how the stock market works, or like how money works and things like that. So like studying like the science of money definitely was like something I was interested in. And that's kind of how I built my interests into what I wanted to study.
What about you, Zoe?
I had no idea what I wanted to study. I kind of just looked at what subjects I was good at, along with which ones that I liked. And so that's how I kind of ended up in science. And then from there, like once you get to uni, you kind of learn and talk to new people, and that's how I'm kind of figuring out my path through university.
Definitely. And I feel like once you start talking to people in the industry and like you start talking to people in different fields, because like you can study something but end up in something completely random. Like I know that's a lot of things, especially for like qualified jobs, I guess. So, like a lot of jobs do require a degree but don't require a certain degree. Especially like the whole corporate world, like you can study science and end up in a finance job, or like in HR or like whatever.
And that's something I think, Isaac, you and I didn't realize before going to uni.
So like, I didn't realize that if I paired it with an arts degree, that's actually employable because I have this other degree and it shows your academic interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I never understood why I would look online and like people would have like international relations degrees and then they'd pair that with like finance and like they're not working in international finance, so it doesn't seem at all relevant. But when you're in an interview and they're asking about your interests and what you're passionate about and your soft skills, pairing degrees, and I think we're going to talk about that next, is like, like you can complement your degree with something you're interested in. And that's the idea of how Australian universities are set up, because like majority of degrees, you can do a double degree.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of leads us on to the next type. Like, how do you say you've got different degrees that you're choosing from? So say you've got science, advanced science, nursing, all kinds of things. Like, how do you compare degrees? How did you guys compare degrees when you went about it?
Like for me, I sort of kind of knew what the job was going to be sort of at the end for me. So in comparing that, I was looking at, what I would actually be doing, but then sort of comparing the actual degree while you're studying, it's easy enough to look up the courses that you'll be sort of doing, but it's not something that I did in my first year when I was doing physio. It's more been what I did after that. And I think it's because I wasn't as aware of sort of being able to navigate UQ website and actually have a look to see what you'll be learning. But that's like the really good thing about uni is once you're in, you become so much more aware of what the options are. And I didn't even know that nursing and midwifery was a dual degree that I could go into, because you just aren't aware of what the options are. And that's why it's really valuable to just get in and start learning and then see where it takes you.
You'll never know what you want to, if that's right for you, until you study it. And
exactly.
You can literally also, like, I think it's important to mention, you can literally change your degree with a click of a button. Like,
so easy.
Like if I think it's like if you kind of like downgrade your degree, like OP wise, you actually don't have to apply again. You can just like go on my sign it, just go beep, and like your degrees change. So like
or even your majors as well.
Yeah.
I was doing an accounting major, but I dropped it to management. So
and definitely until you like start studying subjects and stuff, you're not gonna truly know if that was for you. Even if you're in high school now and you're like, I really want to be a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. And then you get into law and you're like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't for me. And like, that's totally fine. And literally, it's so easy to change degrees, like ridiculously easy, almost too easy to change your degree.
And people change their degrees all the time. And it's perfectly fine.
100%. Especially after first year, because in first year, you kind of study a plethora of subjects as well. So it does give you an idea of like what you enjoy. It's like in your physio degree, did you do some like bio subjects or like subjects that lapped over?
So I had overlaps with the OT and speech pathology students with our anatomy and biology and things like that. You have like core physio subjects, but I got credits for nursing. I could have got credits to go into physiology or OT or even potentially social work, because you do a psychology course. Like there's just such a broad range of subjects that you do in that first year of all of the degrees. which is why it's so awesome that you can just get in and then you can just really, like I was saying, become aware of what your options are. And you're meeting other students as well. Like some of the students that what do you call them? The tutors that I had in my first year were actually they were medicine or they were nursing students or they were OT students that were tutoring us. So it was,
Definitely.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think that's a good way to go about it as well. Like I don't think you realize, but like when I go into like an intro class, there's like 5 different degrees there. So like you're talking to people from all these different degrees, and the different degrees by 3rd year are doing very different things. But in 1st year, you're all doing kind of the similar things.
Yeah. I think that depends on your degree though, because for me, law, I don't feel like it's like that.
Yeah, but like I guess, yeah, because I guess UQ kind of splits it more like into different stuff.
Yeah.
I know Eng is very much like all the engineering people. Like I didn't meet anyone outside of engineering doing 1st year.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It must be like that for law and engineering.
What about like IT students and math students? Do they do? Yeah. They all have to do 1050.
They have to do 1050 and 1051, but there's so many Eng students in the class that you never meet them.
It's like,
like who's Eng? It's like 90%, like 95% of the class.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's very rarely that you meet them, but if you're very set on engineering, it's good still because you've got your electrical engineers, civil, mining, mech, and if you think you might be going into mech and you might meet people from electrical or something else, and you might decide to go into one of those other fields.
I think, that's important on that note as well, because like your major can very differently depict how your degree goes. Like, for example, accounting is very, very different to management. So like you're going to be studying completely different things, even though it's a business degree. And like,
exactly.
They are related in some sort of way, but like, your degree is going to be so different depending on your major. And you don't actually have to decide your major until like a year and a half in sometimes. So
if you're doing a double degree, definitely, I think it's a year and a half.
I think I've had to choose mine. I think I'm starting my first major next year, which is my 4th year of uni.
There you go.
Okay, interesting. It just depends on your degree, I think. You can just look on your course program on the website and it'll tell you everything.
That's why it's so important in your when you're first starting and in your first year to just have a super open mind and just take all the learning opportunities you can, because you genuinely can't fathom how no one can fathom how many options and opportunities there are until you actually get there.
100%.
And also with comparing degrees, I know you can literally go on the website and it has a drop down of all the different subjects. And you can even, I know from the UQ website, you can actually click on the degree, like on the course, and you can see what you literally are studying week by week.
Yeah.
Like what you'd actually, it gives you a full breakdown. So if you've got time and like you are seriously confused, have a look at what you'd actually be learning and then compare that to like what you'd actually want to be learning. Like, and it shows you like, kind of gives you an idea if you Google those topics. Is that just equations? Are you just going to be doing calculus the whole time? Or are you going to be learning a bit of theory and a bit of calc together? Or is that like completely different stuff? Like that gives you a really good idea.
Yeah, I agree. Although don't do it for your eng, because you're looking, it's just gobbledygook and you're like, what?
But I guess the point is, once you just don't rule out university because of indecisiveness. Like just get in, do something. If you don't like it, you can change. And that study experience also is going to set you up better for your first year subjects in another degree, because you've already...
And the life experience that you will gain as well.
Because it's not just a waste of time, and like I wouldn't even worry about money. Like if you're worried about this whole new like HEC system as well, like you're investing in the rest of your life. Like 14 grand is not very much in like per year in the grand scheme. So like don't rule out university degrees because of cost, because do you really want to be stuck in something just because you saved 10 grand? Like, because the rest of your life you're going to be earning like
you'll regret it later.
The thing you really wanted to do.
I definitely mentioned like don't consider that at all as one of your considerations, because
I don't even look at my HECs. I don't look at them.
Don't look at that.
And you're not, at the end of the day, you're not going to do a degree to earn money anyway. You're doing it because you like learning and you would like to have development and enjoy what you're doing in the future. That's the whole point of studying at uni.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything.
I was going to say too, I think it's important to choose your degree not based on if you think something's going to be too hard for you.
Yeah.
That's something I always stressed about. I was like,
Same.
engineering is going to be too hard for me, but it's definitely something you can, like you start, it's going to be very overwhelming, but you meet people, everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah.
It's important not to choose something and go, I'm not going to go for this one, even though I really want to do that one, because I don't think I have the potential to do that.
Yeah, like for
You just have
example,
to believe in yourself.
I met people who got like ATARs of like 85 and their end goal is medicine, and they'll get there because they're working hard at university. And like people don't realize that you literally nowadays don't even need an OP1 to like study law or study medicine. Like there's ways to get around it, and like you are capable. It's about the work you put in.
Yeah, if you want it, you'll do it.
Exactly. Like, and also when you're passionate about studying something, it like makes it a lot easier.
You won't give up.
Study,
Yeah.
You'll do it in your downtime. You're like, it'll make it a lot easier to study on a Friday night or Saturday night or straight.
Yeah. And I think this might seem like so like out of the, like you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna like university, but I'm just doing it because I want a job. Like I think I genuinely enjoy studying sometimes, and like I think just sitting down in the library, and I don't know whether it's just like a nerd thing, but like sitting down in the library, like walking across a great court, and you're like, I'm at uni, like I don't know, it feels so like I don't know, it's got
and
like
it's more than just studying as well. It's about meeting new friends, new people.
Also meeting like people like in my degree.
Exactly.
I've met
expanding your network.
Insane amounts of smart, like went to Cambridge while I was in high school, and like I'm like you know what I mean, and you'll meet people that are very like from like a very different backgrounds to you. That's how to put it.
Exactly.
Like,
which is always good, diversity.
Perspective. And also if you feel like coming from Bundy High is going to be like a disadvantage, I feel like it's not. You're ahead socially, I guess, because you've already experienced like different people, different socioeconomic backgrounds. A lot of people haven't met people that like are in different financial status to them. And that closes their mindsets, just closed, because also those are the people that don't move away for university because they don't have to
live at home.
So like it's really going to close off their mindset, and like you've actually got an open mindset already just from coming from that background.
By overcoming challenges by moving away from home. Exactly.
I don't know if we mentioned this, but all of us are Bundy High students to start with. We all from Bundy High, so like you can achieve that as well. And we're all from like different. I know like our parents and the government and stuff pay different things for all of us. Like not all of us are in the same financial situation, but like some of us didn't have anything. Like when I moved, my parents contributed hardly anything, and I went into one of the most expensive accommodation options there was. So like it's doable. I did have to work really hard, and like if I did it again, I definitely would. But it was stressful, but you get through it, and like I think that's the thing. Like anything's possible for you. Like don't rule anything out. Yeah. I feel like you do get through it. Like, don't stress. Like, you're going to get through it no matter what financial situation you're in. And we're going to be talking about finances next week, I think. Okay. So in terms of like deciding your degree as well, what's like hobbies versus passions? So, like, do you guys have any hobbies that you kind of were like, oh, I like this, so I'm going to study this at university or something that's related?
Yeah, I 100% did. Like, I was /M, love fitness, love sport, and I thought that I wanted to take that on as something that I would do in the future as a career. But I realized that it's just sort of my learning hobby and something that I do on the side for stress relief and, you know, being engaged in something that's not study. And I really, really found that when I was in my first year of uni doing physio. And then I've sort of established that my real passion is helping people. And I've got a, you know, really strong passion for like chronic illness management, and that more went sort of like in parallel with what nursing entails. So that's why I've ended up choosing where I am now. But again, I don't regret the fact that I went into physio, because I wasn't to know that it's not something that I wanted to do, or / couldn't necessarily recognize that it was my hobby, not my passion, until I've actually gone and put myself in that experience. And it was hard to get through that year, I will admit, because it's not what I wanted. But I think it's important to remember that you're at uni to learn about not just the world, like you're learning about yourself as well. And that's also for all of us, I feel we've probably developed so much as people in the last 2 years. And yeah.
I'd also say you're a different person. And like,
yeah.
Also, when I go home, the thing with university and moving away, these are all such things that you don't realize, but they build your character so much, like a ridiculous amount, that you're actually going to develop as like a person, like so much more at a higher level, because you go through so many life experiences like this, like life
and changes,
happen to you like in this point in your life so quickly and so much all at once. Like, just you're not going to be the same person you are right now in 1 year, in 2 years, in 10 years. So picking what you want to study for the rest of your life when you're 17, the main thing is just get in university. I think that's the whole point from this, is like,
you can always transfer degrees.
Yeah. You can transfer degrees, you can take a semester off, you can do whatever, but like, just take that first step because you won't regret it.
Yeah, 100%.
You can always move home. I mean, that's my like worst fear, but like, you can always just move home.
Yeah.
But give it a go. Like, if you do get here and you're like, oh, I hate
There's
this,
nothing to lose.
stay a year, because like,
yeah,
at the end of the year, like at the start of the year, I was like, oh my God, this is so hard. And like, I mean, I didn't ever think about moving home, but I definitely thought like, this is too hard for me.
Yeah.
And then once I got to November, I was like, well, I'm going to smash this. Like, I've got this. Like, and you feel so good about yourself after like, you achieve, like, for example, if I went into classes and I was like, this is way too hard for me, like, I'm not smart enough to be here. But then you get through the subject and you're like, wait a minute, I must have been smart enough because I
did it.
So, and then like, that's something to feel proud about yourself.
There's like nothing wrong with changing your mind, or like different life, like things will happen in your life. Like, I know plenty of people who came to uni for a year, they moved home for a year, then they came back to uni. Like, it's so easy to kind of pick back up again if you do have like circumstances or like a change of heart or anything. It's really easy to kind of go into and then leave and come back to, depending on what you're feeling.
In terms of like just going back to hobbies and passions, like I definitely thought about like things that I was passionate about. They could just be like hobbies, like reading and writing and stuff. Like, that can all just be on the side. And like, although when I think about it, like maybe that's something I'd enjoy in a career, but I think there's things ultimately that I'd enjoy more.
I think for me, looking at what I wanted to do, because the same thing, I enjoyed like English, but I enjoyed math as well. But for me, it was more looking, okay, what can I see myself doing? And it's not important for people to do that, but it was just for me what helped. So it's not for everyone, but for me, that's what I did. What can I actually see myself doing as a job? And for me, it wasn't sitting down doing any writing. It was actually on site, probably bossing people around. Doing site plans.
See, for me also, like thinking about that kind of thing, anything manual labor, I was like, I'm not it. That's not it for me. Like, I'd rather use my brain and not my hands. Like, there's a lot of jobs where you do use your brain and your hands. Like, for example, when I worked as a dentist, I was like, this is like manual labor. Like, I'm like bending over and I'm like, but like, I was thinking like, that's not for me, rather than like, you've got to, I don't think people realize this, but like as a dentist, you've got to be quite creative as well. Like, want to like carve stuff and like, I don't know, just like little things. You've got to like find an enjoyment and like liking to do certain things, like finding a beauty and like an art to it. The dentist like that I work for was like I like looking with people's teeth. Like, it's like artwork when I'm finished. Like, it's like, I'm proud of it. And I'm like, I do not feel that at all. So
that's
like,
what like, you might not find the passion until a particular semester of your university degree, because now this semester is the first semester I'm studying for like 3, because in nursing you do 3 subjects in the placement subject. The 3 subjects that I'm studying are bang on what I would like to be learning about, and that I'm actually really passionate.
Same,
you have to, you know, watch yourself grow and develop as a person a little bit, and then figure out what you're passionate about. And again, passion comes with life experience, because how can you be passionate about things without knowing what's out in the world?
And same thing that Nat said, like in my first year, like doing accounting classes and stuff, I was like, this is so boring, like blah, blah, blah.
I never found it boring. That's so sad.
I'm doing like business strategy and like creative destruction of your competitors and stuff now. And I'm like, yeah, let's get into it. Like, and I love it. Like, everything I'm learning about and the discussions in classes with like in tutorials and like tutors that like designed the first ever mobile banking app. I think that's like so cool that I get to meet someone like that. Like it's like crazy, and like going to networking events and I'm like talking to people who like work at these massive companies and they're like developing the next economic infrastructure, and you're like, what the heck? Like this world is so different to what I know in Bundy, and like those opportunities literally aren't available in Bundaberg. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so just considering that as well. Like if you want to be like so, I don't know, like involved in your career and like a pioneer, or like these things are possible to you. Like you don't have to just be a random person working a random corporate job or like working in some random hospital. Like you can literally be the top of your field and nothing's stopping you. Like circumstance,
Exactly.
that's what you want to achieve. And like it might seem far-fetched now, but like I've met people and I'm like, wait a minute, I can do that. Like you were literally in the same point I was. And I think that's why we started this mentoring program, because it's like, if they can do it, wait, they were literally in the same position as I was. I think it's important to mention, like, when you go to uni, it definitely humbles you about how smart you are, because everyone is so smart here. So even if you feel like you're not smart, I feel like at uni you become smarter. Like I'm definitely, if I did grade 12 right now, I'm like, blitz it. But at the time it felt really difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you didn't know anything else.
Yeah, like as you tackle harder things, lesser things become easier to you. Like if you tackle things in your life, I think we'll finish off with everyone's personal experiences. So like answering those 3 questions for yourself, and like where you ended up now and where you see yourself in the future. Do you want to start, Tian?
Where I see us in the future.
Yeah, like how you picked your degree and then where you see yourself in the future.
Okay, yeah. So I picked my degree because my intrinsic motivations. I wanted to help people. I'm not really sure about my business degree, but I feel like I'll get there eventually. And yeah, eventually I want to be a lawyer because I'm a family lawyer. Make my own firm one day, which is exciting. So yeah.
Natalia?
Well, I'm enjoying what I'm doing now. As I said, like massive passion for chronic health. I'm also really interested in Indigenous health as well, and I can see myself having my own business one day, some sort of wellness center, and I'm sort of really steering towards doing a master's in nurse practitioner, which would be kind of a little bit of a step up from what I'm doing now, and give me a broader range of opportunities. I'm excited for whatever's to come.
Yeah,
definitely.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Zoe?
So yeah, I was obviously very indecisive. I hate making decisions. I still do. I'm still really indecisive. But so I went in to uni as an advanced Bachelor of Science, which just meant that I had my honours. I've now dropped back to just a normal Bachelor of Science, so I won't do my honours year because I didn't really fancy being in a lab for a year. I thought I don't need this because I'm planning on probably doing my master's in speech pathology. So it is a bit of a kind of using science as like a stepping stone, purely because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but being in that science and kind of talking to different people has kind of guided me to speech pathology. And I don't know whether that'll be where I'll end up in the end, but it's the direction that I'm taking at the moment.
And yeah, I think on that point, like you do not need to know what you want to do, and like your first degree might not even be your last. So like if you finish a degree and it's not, like you can get a master's in a year. Like a year is like such a little amount of time to be able to.
Yeah, and also post-grad entry as well makes a degree shorter.
Yeah. Kirsten?
I really enjoyed math at school, and I knew I did pretty well at math, so I knew that was probably my best bet to go with something like that. And I thought not just straight math, I wanted something a little bit more where I'd have to do project writing, a little bit problem solving. So engineering, I went into that stream. And I had a look at all of the majors, and civil kind of was the one that appealed to me the most. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I went with business management as well, because at the time I'd been told it'd probably make me more employable, but I'd also wanted to go into project management at some stage in my life. And I knew that if I got my business degree, it would help me to get into that project management position. but I am actually enjoying some of the subjects I'm doing at the moment.
I think it's
So,
important to mention too, you can combine 2 different degrees to give you a plethora of opportunities. Like if you wanted to, you could literally work in corporate if you wanted through your business degree.
oh yeah, I'm
So,
doing
like,
actually a HR internship on the holidays, which I wouldn't have expected myself to do.
yeah.
I was set on engineering, but I'm like, I'm going to explore my options and have a look at business.
Even if you don't end up in HR, that experience will help you in engineering. So like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Expand your network.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I was already kind of interested in what I wanted to do. I definitely considered a lot of different things. Like I feel like I looked at every single course there was on offer. And like literally went on. I was like so obsessed with it. But I guess it was just like I always knew like I guess I'd always worked since I was young. So like for me, earning money was like the coolest thing like I could even imagine. And then like learning about investing was like something I've like been dying to learn. And then in the first semester, I literally learned understanding things. And I feel like even if I finished university and didn't use my degree, that financial literacy that I gained was like is going to help me in my personal life. And that's what I like. I did lots of wide reading in finance and economics, and like I feel like I found economics through reading more, because economics is definitely a bit of a different study to what finance is, even though they seem like they're very similar, they're very different. But yeah, I guess I just looked at what I wanted to do in the past. And then in the future, I'm planning to finish my degree and work maybe at a startup company. And then I'd like to start my own company eventually and like scale it and dream big, I guess, like think big, achieve lots, I think. Like I definitely like to build a massive enterprise, but we'll see.
Hell yeah, I want to see your name on one of the skyscrapers in City.
Oh yeah, even like I own building at UQ, like have a little center.
That's achievable.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in if you did, and watching to the end if you made it this far. I've enjoyed this discussion.
Me too.
And,
Looking forward to
everyone.
yeah, we've got some study to do. So, and you probably
Yeah.
do as well. So get back to it. We'll see you guys next week. We're going to be posting these every kind of Sunday, Monday. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.